We're beginning with the square root of 450. So you may have gone about this in a very different process. I'm just going to walk you through how I thought about it. This isn't the way to do it, it's one way to do it. So the first thing I notice is that, well, first of all, keep everything inside the square root until we're done, okay? But inside the square root, I noticed I could do 45 times 10. And then I was thinking, well, 45, that could be 5 times 9, and 10 could be 2 times 5. And then I noticed that 9 would be 3 times 3. And then, now that I sort of broken everything down, now what I wanted to do was I wanted to start putting things back together. So, sort of grouping things back together. So then I wrote 3 times 3 as 3 squared, and I grouped together I put the 2 over here, and I grouped together the 5 times 5 as 5 squared. I also put things, I know I need to have things in ascending order, so 2 and then the 3 to the power and the 5 to the power. So I did that too. Then from there, I separated. I know that I'm allowed to write this rather than everything under one square root. I can write this as the product of different square roots. So I did the square root of 2 times the square root of 3 squared times the square root of 5 squared. And I thought that was going to be useful because of what it would let me do in the next step. So rather than the square root of 3 squared, I could just write that as 3. And rather than the square root of 5 squared, I could just write that as 5. And then, of course, once I have 3 times 5 outside of the square root, 3 times 5 is 15. And I can't take 2 outside of the square root because it doesn't have anything, it's multiplying by itself. And so I'm left with 15 square root of 2. So Josue had simplified the square root of 450 as 15 square root of 2, and he was correct.